So she had childhood dreams just like everyone else, and had a family where the expectations was that she was going to pursue a career which is regular, or an orthodox career, if you may put it that way. But she decided to do music. And of course, pursuing that dream has ensured that she's gone several places in the world and has dazzled fans on several stages across the continent of Africa. Today, I get to host a multiple award-winning musician, young and bubbling with a lot of life, a lot of color, and a lot of hope for the future. She's also pursuing acting, which is her newfound passion. My guest here for Autograph tonight, I'll be introducing to you very, very shortly. We're here at the Table Bay Bar of Alisa Hotel, as always, and thank you all very much for joining us for tonight's session. It surely is going to be revealing, and we'll get to know so many bits that she hardly has spoken about elsewhere. Thank you very much for staying with us here on Autograph. Very shortly, we begin the discussion with this multiple award-winning artist. Thank you very much. We try.
Interesting type there.
Oh, okay. Thank you. There's a very long story behind this. It's made of beats, actually, and it's my first time putting this on. Yeah.
Oh, I feel really special.
Maybe we should get into production.
We should definitely.
And make some cash.
It is going to work. It's going to work. Anything made in Africa.
Good to see you, Becca.
Good to be here.
And I think you look splendid on Saturday night as well at the awards, the VGMAs.
Thank you. I was actually rushing to get there. I was quite late.
I see. Do you make any input into your styling? Do you put something on paper, like sketch stuff and all?
I actually do. I do.
Oh, you do?
I like it really simple.
Okay.
And sometimes when stylists come to you, they come with a lot of, they overly want to style you.
Okay.
But I like it really simple. So even if I don't sketch it, I give you an idea of exactly what I want. I say, okay, you know what? Simple, off-shoulder dress, fitted down, a little tail. That's all I want. Yeah, and it always works. Simplicity always works for me. So yeah, I do. I don't really like huge accessories, over accessorized. A lot of input goes into my styling, and I'm the major, you know.
Have you had the instance where you're disagreeing? Okay, this thing is not like this, and your stylist is also saying, look, maybe we should still try this.
All the time. All the time. Saturday was like that because my stylist suggested little earrings. Okay. And I said, my outfit is really simple. So let's just go with something that's a little dangly because, I wasn't wearing any, just I think 2 rings and then no necklace, no nothing. And my shoes were quite simple as well. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to do stats. I know that this is the award. This is my night. I need to shine. So I went in for something. So definitely, sometimes, they say, okay, scarf your hair. I'm like, oh, no, it's not good for the outfit. And they're like, you have to wear it. I'm like, okay. But at the end of the day, it's about you. It's what makes me comfortable and what makes you comfortable. So they have to sometimes go for what I want more than what they want.
Well, talk about shining. What was the dream as as a child growing up? What was your dream?
I always wanted to sing.
I see.
Always wanted to sing. At a certain point.
So you never got attracted by any of those everyday, regular.
It will surprise you. I did. I did. There were so many things I wanted to do. First of all, I knew. I wanted to be a lawyer. Okay. I thought of being a lawyer.
And what was the inspiration?
Was because I just feel like justice must be served, and I felt like I could actually be the one representing people and making sure that their cases go well. So, it's also because I'm a really passionate person,
sure.
And I believe that the innocent must, have justice. You know what I mean? So, that was one of the reasons why. I also, at a certain point, because of. At that time, air hostess were beautiful and were so sophisticated. And I was like, I want to be in those heels. I see them because I used to travel at the age of maybe 4 years old. That's when I started traveling. So
sure.
I always see them in their red lipstick when they're going on Emirates. And I'm like, God, I want to be that. So at a certain point, I also wanted to be a pilot because I was like, oh, this is beautiful. So it's just, I think I'm just attracted to aircraft.
So what happened to all of those?
Well, those were things that I thought at a certain point I wanted to do, but deep down I knew that I wanted to do music because I would pick a Bible, I'll pick any random book, Nancy Drew, all the books that we used to read, Tintin, and then I'll start, coining up all the words and making them into songs, So I knew that I wanted to do music. I knew I wanted to sing. Whether or not it was going to come to life, I didn't know. Because, of course, as an Ashanti father, you have to be a lawyer or something like that. But music was just a part of me.
I see.
So I couldn't run
away. Talk about
from
that Ashanti father bit and childhood. What, how were you able to communicate all of this to, the parents who brought you up or the guardians who brought you up? Because, like you said, hey, we're used to the orthodox everyday professions. The orthodox professions that have become like cliches and everyday choruses that children sing. I want to become a doctor, I want to become a lawyer, an architect. How did you manage to communicate that, and how was it taken?
Oh, God. Communication was really bad. Communication, I can assure you, was really bad. My father didn't want to hear anything about music. They have a perception about musicians and singers. They feel like, they're either into drugs or alcohol or into, sex, which is...
Is that true?
Well, it's not at all. It's just a perception, and that's why I said perception, because, and it's not just to do with singers alone. Entertainers in general, people think that you have to have a vice, a really horrible vice. So,
but we've heard stories. There are stories of Whitney Houston. There are stories of, there are so many stories to tell. So there's a reality in there.
There is definitely, and there's a reality in everything. You can be a normal doctor and still be addicted to drugs. The thing about entertainment is this, that sometimes you need that rush. Okay, and a lot of people sort to different things to give them that rush, because you're getting on stage performing in front of thousands and thousands of people, and you want to entertain them. You want to go on stage not feeling shy, not being nervous, and so sometimes you think, okay, a bit of alcohol backstage is going to be good, or let me smoke a bit of this, or let me do that. So definitely we are. There are a lot of things influence musicians because of, and creative people in general have a little problem. And I'm not going to take myself out. I'm a part of it as well. So definitely, the other thing also.
What do you do to get your rush?
Funny enough, I don't do much. For instance, when I'm going on stage, I don't want anybody to talk to me. I get easily irritated. Irritated. The least thing you do to me, I scream, and my PA and everybody around me will tell you. I'm just screaming and shouting. I'm like, don't talk to me. I don't want to talk to anybody at that point because I'm nervous. I'm extremely nervous, so I just need to calm myself down. I'm either rubbing my hands, or I'm very cold before I go on stage.
And it happens to date?
It happens to date.
Wow.
It happens to date. Well, I don't do much. I just want silence, a little peace and silence. And one thing I also do a lot is I drink a lot of water.
I see.
And that is really bad when you're going on stage. You have to sip. And I have a habit of over drinking, so you go on stage and you're too full, and that's the problem. You just filled with water, because I personally do not eat 3 hours before performance. Okay. I can't. I just get all nervous, and I feel like I'm going to throw up.
Wow.
I'm very nervous.
And it happens till now. It's happening.
Let me tell you something. Even if I'm performing for 5 children, it's still going to happen. It does not matter.
Wow.
I take my performances seriously. So, once I'm hitting the stage, it doesn't matter if it's just you and someone else. I'm nervous. And so it's all part of preparation. But as soon as I hit the stage, it's almost like, the first note is do or die. Wow. You have to kill it. If you don't, then it's a problem. So, yeah, it's crazy.
And so this thing is real. So you've never been confronted with the situation where you're like, okay, you know something, let me just do a little quarter glass of cognac or something before I go.
I have been. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. You have people around you who drink all the time and smoke, So sometimes, you get, but I've never actually, it's not succeeded.
Okay, so it's not, you're doing it unconsciously. Oh, okay, everybody's drinking, let me just sip something.
I don't drink at all.
You don't drink at all?
Nothing. Okay. I don't drink at all. It doesn't, come on. I'm an old woman now. Yeah. So.
Okay.
I'm an old woman now, Chevy. So, it's not, funny enough, I think I'm so strong-willed that you can easily sway me. Okay. You can't at all. I'm the sort of person that you can't easily sway, unless I want to do it. Now, if I want to do it, I do it freely, without any doubt, without any, regrets. But if I don't want to do it, and alcohol is one of them. I've never touched alcohol in my life before.
Wow.
So yeah, and I don't intend to. I don't intend to.
But you've never come close to it?
I have come close to it. I've come close to it. Okay, there was a certain point where they brought me a cocktail. I said I wanted a mojito, and I didn't say.
Mojito is very nice, actually.
That's my favorite drink, and I forgot to say a virgin mojito because you obviously have to say that, so there's no rum in it. Of course. And I didn't, so they brought it to me. And I drank a bit of it. I was like, is everything normal here? Because I don't
All of a sudden, you started feeling
yes,
tipsy.
and that was just like 2 sips or something. It was just because my system is not used to alcohol.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I mean, and we know a lot of drugs and medications come with alcohol, but I mean, those are to serve a certain purpose. But when it's going in raw like that, you know, I was like, no, this is not. And from that day, I knew it wasn't for me because I could have been jumping with my head inside of my legs. So
I can imagine that. But there's also the bit about the sex and what it does in the industry.
Yeah.
I mean, how much does it come to play from what you know?
Well, I mean, everyone has their vices. You know what I mean? Some do sex, alcohol, drugs. You know what I mean? Like I said earlier on, I don't think it's still the perception when it comes to that sex thing. You know, really. If you want to have sex, you will have sex, whether you are Nathaniel or whoever, really. So I don't know. I guess it's all part of. It's almost like alcohol. People have certain things that will satisfy them and then make them want to do, you know, make them happy. And I think sex is part of it, one of them as well. So if you're not doing drugs, you're doing sex or alcohol.
Any of the three?
To give me a rush to go on stage? No. No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all.
I see.
No.
All right. Now, you wanted to do music all along in your life. When did you get a firm grip of it? Okay, I have access to this. I can do that. I mean, you popped up on Mentor.
I did, yes.
And it didn't go well, and that's where you announced yourself, and you announced yourself well onto the scene. But when did you get a grip of music that you thought, okay, this is it, let me start from here,
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I must say I'm grateful to Mentor because, I mean, when everything happened, I was already out there because they knew what was going on. And a bit of controversy sometimes helps in certain situations. Let me just go back to your question now.
Yeah.
When did I get a grip of music? Now, this is what happened. At a certain point, about 19 years old, I told myself that, you know what, I still want to do music because I was so attracted to everything that's going on. And I will see myself, I'm always watching the Grammys. I'm seeing myself performing on stage and seeing myself doing, you know, dancing on stage.
So you were doing a lot of simulation as well sometimes?
I was Beyonce all the time. I'm not even going to, I was Destiny's Child. And the funny thing is that we were 2 girls, you know, at that time. It was my sister and I. Okay. And we had a brother. And so we used to bully him to be part of it. So, so Destiny is a child and a boy. Something like that.
So who was the Beyonce?
I was the Beyonce. My sister was Kelly Rowland, and then the other one was Michelle. You know, my brother was Michelle.
He was
just not doing anything really, but we needed a third person, so we let him do it.
So what, you stood in the mirror? In front of the mirror?
All the time. All the time.
What did you use as your microphones?
We sometimes used things from the kitchen.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Things from the kitchen. I mean, anything I was holding. Even a cup, I'll turn it, I'm using it, you know, so a lot of things I just use as microphone. And we actually had, at certain points, we would actually get the toy ones, because, you know, they sold the toy ones. And so, instead of doing mama and dada cooking, you know, I would buy like a toy microphone, and we're singing and we're dancing. There was one of them that used to record, because we had access to travel, so we bought those ones that would record the voices after. And even though your voices sounded very crappy when you recorded it, we still recorded. So, I mean, yeah. It was fun times.
I'm very interested in the part where you and Wesley girls, and the period before that. Now, in secondary school, we all know that there's extracurricular activity. You get the opportunity to showcase your talent during entertainment. There are also major, you know, events that happen between the schools and everything. You never got the opportunity to do any of that? Did you do any of that?
Funny enough, I didn't. The only thing I did in schools, I did sports, and I played basketball.
I see.
And Wesley girls, exactly. So we used to go for interco and things like that. And definitely entertainment time, I used to do 1 or 2 things on stage to do with singing. But I didn't really do a lot of entertainment in school, funny enough. I didn't pay attention to that because I was in boarding school. Mind you, they had brought me all the way from London, and I was in boarding school now. So, I mean, at a certain point, especially in the beginning, I was trying to get used to the whole atmosphere and getting used to everything and going on. But and 1 or 2 times I did entertainment night and things like that, but I wasn't a regular at all.
Okay. You were not a regular because you were not, you were not rocking the stage enough, or you're just not, you didn't want to push it too much.
Well, I was not a regular because I think at that point I still was I was trying to find myself, and I wasn't too sure whether or not I wanted to pay attention to more of the books or entertainment.
What did you read in Wesley Girls?
I did arts.
Okay.
Yeah. I did arts. So I really did not know whether or not I wanted to do entertainment. And I really wanted to do it, but I didn't want to push myself into it. Because I knew that I was going to swallow everything and I'm probably not going to be learning.
I see. see.
You know, so
and what genres did you choose back then? You know.
Oh, those were the times when we used to do the R&B. We used to do the Whitney Houston and Celine Dion. Yeah.
I see.
And I will always love you. Oh, we used to mime a lot. And you see our jeans and T-shirts.
Yeah.
You know. We cut the top sometimes. You know. Yeah, I was in well-known house. You know, I had a great house, a strong house. So, I mean, I used to be like, you know, very popular. Still, you know, even though I was like the sweetheart. You know, so. We used to rock the stage. It was small. I used to rock it, yeah. I used to rock it.
I see. Okay, so you gained a lot of popularity back in school.
I was. I mean, yes, I was. Even from Morning Star, there were certain things I used to do, like the way I used to walk in. I used to sing as well at school. I used to always be in, you know, doing the sport. I was running. Okay. I was tall.
I see.
I thought I was going to be very tall, Nathaniel. I don't know what happened to me. At school.
You stopped growing at the point?
Yes, at school, at Morning Star, I was always at the back. Always at the back. I was so tall and lanky. Oh. So everyone thought, people see me now and they think, what are you going to be like 6'1"? What happened? I'm like, I'm 5'7". I didn't go.
What happened to the basketball? I mean, what happened to it?
Well, I just, at a certain point, you know, I just gave up on basketball. People were much better than me and taller than me. So I just gave up. They were pushing me around, bullying me. Well, that wasn't really.
How did you manage to balance the femininity and, you know, and being, you know, because sometimes women who play sport get a lot of that. Some who even have, you know, hormones which give them a certain look and all that. How did you manage it?
I guess I couldn't run away from, you know, my natural curves. I couldn't run away from it. So that itself just made me feminine, whether or not you liked it. But, I mean, I knew who I was. I knew I was a woman. You know what I mean? So women can do sports and still be women. So it didn't really make any difference to me, really. I played a role as a woman, as a girl, and I was still doing my sports because that's what I wanted to do. And that's what I like to do. So
I see. So when did you get a firm grip on the music? You know, like, okay, this is the time. I'm doing this full time now.
Professional. Well, that's amazing. I had come to Ghana on holidays, and I happened to have gone to the office, which is now Django. Yeah. And then I met Reggie. I knew Mensa already because of school, Morning Star. At that time, we used to, you know, GI's Morning Star. We used to play around a lot. And so they knew I used to sing in school. Then Mensa said, you know, she can sing. And then I said, oh, no, Mpesa, you know, like that kind of thing. And fortunately for me, my then manager, Kiki Banson, was there. And he at that time was looking for talent. He had worked with Genevieve Naji on her album and was looking for talent. So he said, Reggie was like, you know what, Kiki, I know you're looking for talent. This girl can really sing. And it started from there.
And Reggie had not even listened to you. He
hadn't even listened to me. You know Reggie already. You know, he's really good at hyping people. You know, but I think he because Mensa said it, he knew Mensa. Mensa is a musician. So he kind of like, you know, thought, okay, yeah, if Mensa said it, then it's possible that she could really sing. And so I met Kiki there. He said, come to the studio. I was like, one of those things, man. I mean, my daddy wants me to do them. Let me just forget about it. So I didn't go to the studio. Then I kept meeting him. And it's funny, this is a face I'd never seen before. I kept meeting him over and over again. And at that point, I was like, this is destiny. You're supposed to meet this person. And so we went to the studio, and we did He Lied to Me. And my career just started from there.
Wow. Interesting. All right, so You Lied to Me, and then it started. I mean, the numbers started coming, you know, you started, you know, getting bigger exposure and all of that. How did you, you know, just weave yourself into that situation and that new you?
It was quite tough, you know, because this was a regular girl, a normal girl. I mean, I used to wake up in the morning, I can, you know, well, buy wachi, eat cocoa. You know, I'm not going to say porridge, just cocoa. And then, you know, cozy. I mean, I was a normal girl, and the next minute you're on TV, and everybody's looking up to you, and everybody thinks
has expectations
of you as well. And, you know, it was crazy for me. I'm not going to even lie to you. In the beginning, it was really crazy for me because sometimes I wanted to do things that I do, normal things I do. And it's a lie when people say, oh, they can be normal and be a celeb. You cannot be normal. It's not true. You can try to be as normal as possible, but you can't be entirely normal because people are looking up to you. And so if you can go outside with just your bra, now you can't do that. You know what I mean? You have to cover up because people are looking up to you. Whether or not you are a role model to people, as in the Becca brand, which is, you know, I focus more on women and children. You still have to do certain things that, you know, you cannot do anything. You just can't. So that's a lie. People cannot be normal. You just can't. So, I mean, I had to really, and I even learned it of recent times to try and be more of myself. Because sometimes you go to a place and you're so stiff and you know that this is not you. You know you want to laugh. I'm a comedian. I know I want to just crack jokes for people to laugh. But people didn't know that about Becca. You know, so when people get close to me, they're like, we didn't know you're so funny. I'm like, really, like, I'm very funny.
Have you found yourself in the situation where you are in the midst of people, everybody's looking at you? I mean, I remember we've been out a couple of times and I've seen you and I thought, okay, Becca is a bit uncomfortable. I mean, and you're always on your phone. You have to make an imaginary phone call. Has it happened to you?
Yes, it happens to me. It's happened to me a lot of times where, and thanks to social media, now my phone has become my comfort. Because when you go to certain places and you just want to, you don't, and sometimes it's two ways. Sometimes you don't want to talk to anybody. Sometimes you just want to be yourself. You know what I mean? That's unfortunate things about being in the position that we're in, that you have to be nice all the time. All the time. And sometimes you're human. You just don't want to be nice. Sometimes you're out there and you just want to chill. So your phone becomes your comfort. You pick it up and you're just doing nothing on it, really. Nothing. You're like texting. I can scroll through all my pictures, 1,200 pictures.
Just to while away the time.
Just to while away the time. And it's crazy, Nathaniel. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I mean, yeah, it all comes with it. It's a part of it. And
have you had the instance where somebody has come up to you and done something very bizarre, like a fan has come up to you and said or done something very bizarre, or done something that has touched you to move you probably to the point of tears?
Oh yeah.
Tell me about it.
Oh yeah. A couple of times people come to me and they're crying. And they're crying not because they're sad to see you. They're so happy. They can't believe they're actually seeing you. And then they hold your hand like that and you're trying to feel. I'm like, I'm human. You know, I'm like, you know, and then I hug them because that's the thing about me. My fans, I mean, I hug them. I embrace them. I let them know that, listen, I mean, I really love you and I appreciate what you're doing. There was a certain instant where a girl walks up to me. She couldn't believe it was me. She was jumping. She was shaking. I was like, you know what?
Relax.
And I told them, I'm like, let her come, you know, because sometimes it's preventing, it's stopping them from coming to you. I'm like,
where was this?
It's actually not too long, about 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yes, I went to the West Hill Mall to go and look, because I don't really go out much, so I went to the mall. It was my second time there. The first time I went quite early, so nobody was there. Second time, I mean, I couldn't beat it. And she was just shaking. I was like, wow. I mean, it's so beautiful to know that people actually love you. And she told me, I have your pictures, I love you, I like your songs, they inspire me, you inspire all women. And hearing these words from a girl who is probably about 21, it's just beautiful, really, really beautiful.
Becca, there's more to talk about, and I'll also be asking her what it is that makes up her preference if she wants to date someone. It'll be interesting to listen to. That's the reason why you have to stay right here on Autograph, where we bring you the lifestyle of your favorite people. It's here on the Joy Prime channel on Mount TV. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for staying on Autograph, and Becca is here with me. Becca, you talked about traveling around, and you know, for the ordinary Ghanaian child, I mean, you're in your home, traveling around is not too common. It's becoming common these days, but you know, okay, so traveling around, why did you have to be traveling back and forth from the UK?
Well, it wasn't really back and forth. It was, we traveled a lot because during summers and holidays and Christmas times, the whole family they'll convey all of us, and that's the right word, is convey, because we're 11.
How many children were you?
11.
11.
And so it was like the Home Alone thing. It was like the Home Alone thing where everybody's rushing. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm like, I used to tell my dad, why didn't we do like a African Home Alone thing? Because it would have been fantastic, because all the kids, I mean, everybody's pulling their bags, and we used to go on holidays a lot in the UK. So and that's why we traveled a lot, because my father used to work as well, so he's doing his businesses, and we never used to really see him, you know, because I wake up in the morning, my father is not there. By the time he comes back in the evening, I'm asleep, or he's traveled or something. And so when it was holiday, when we went on vacation, we used to travel a lot together, so we spend time together.
I see. And change of environment, the constant change of environment, what did they do for you as kids? I mean, you always looked forward to traveling.
I did. I looked forward to eating McDonald's. all the time, you know. As soon as I get for the
burgers,
the burgers, the cheese burgers, and I like the small ones. They're so lovely. And then, oh no, I mean, if you're trying to, I eat it. So anyway, so and then we were looking forward to traveling all the time. Experience. What did it do for me? I mean, it makes you really open-minded. It enlightens you. It makes you aware of different environments and surroundings apart from the one that you know, and also gives you a better human relation, because you meet different people, different color, different race, and you're able to relate to people more. Exactly. So I mean, for me, it did a lot for me as a child. I mean, I believe that if I were here with good parents, it could have been the same, but it just definitely experience opens your mind more and gives you more knowledge, you know. So yeah.
And okay, so where would you want to go if you had the opportunity to just go and wind down and go away from all the work and all the people? Is there any travel destination that keeps, you know, popping up in your mind?
I'll definitely not go to London, because I mean that's I mean I've been there so many times, but my mom is there as well and all that, and I have my siblings out there. I think I would do Greece or Mauritius.
Why Greece? Why Mauritius?
You know, I had this thing about Greeks all the time. I mean, and I think it's probably because I watch a lot of Hercules and funny things like that. And it's like I want to see myself wearing a white robe with something on my head, you know. So. And
I'm sure they'll give you a very long Greek name as well.
Oh yeah. Herculesius or something like that. You know, so I mean, and I've seen pictures from Greece, and I have a couple of friends who have been there, and it's beautiful. The scenery going up on those, they're kind of hilly house. It's just so amazing. I think it's a place that I would want to go. And also I'll choose that because I want to go to a place where there's not a lot of people that would know me.
Good.
Exactly. So yeah, so I can just relax. And
you spoke about your father. What did he do? And I mean, how was it relating with him? Because, you know, obviously you said work was taking him away a lot. What exactly did he do for business?
Good. My father used to be in pharmaceutical at first. He used to be in pharmaceutical. He would manufacture all sorts of drugs, and they would bring it to Ghana and distribute it, you know, to all the major ones now. You know. So Meacham was quite big at that time. So he used to do that a lot. I mean, Yugoslavia, UK, America. He was traveling a lot, so that took him away. And
you didn't get attracted to what he did? I mean, because I mean, he was making money.
Some did.
Some of your siblings did.
They are pharmacists and stuff.
I see. Okay, so you
no,
you to be away
so
from
yes,
him. Okay.
Yeah, some did. Some are still following him. So
I see.
Yeah.
And how did you relate, and how do you still relate?
My father?
Yeah.
It's fine. I mean, like I said, because he wasn't too interested in the music at first, it was a little bit of and then that's the truth. I mean, people tell me that, I'm like, yeah. I mean, if someone is not happy with you, you don't expect them to behave the same way towards you as they would if they were happy with you. And so, but now, I mean, we have a good relationship. My father is always looking forward to, what do you
When did he finally accept that, okay, this is, my daughter is going to do music?
I've been in the industry for 8 years.
Yes. When did he finally accept you?
I'm thinking
about
5 years ago.
What happened?
About 5 years ago. Well, I went to him and I told him that, Daddy, I'm doing a launch on my album. I think it was the first album. It was actually, he accepted me quite early. It was the first album launch. It was a year after I had gone into music. So that whole year, he wasn't happy with me for a whole year. I was like, you know. So I invited him to one of my events, and he came and was performing. And after that, I mean, he had people come to him and say, dear, you know, they like those things. Your child is. And then, so he calls me after the show and he says to me that, I think that you've done a good job. I like the response when I came there, and I think that you like what you're doing, because I saw you're so happy on stage, you're glowing on stage. I think you like what you're doing. Aside that, I think he was also happy that his friends are coming up to him and saying, your child is, how, you know. So I mean, he just, and at a certain point, I think he just had to accept that this is what she wanted to do. And if that's what's going to make her happy, and of course he had gone through people that I was working with, and he knew that she was safe there. She was okay, she's fine. Okay, she's making a living out of it. So yeah. I mean.
And talk about, you know, guidance and all of that. Well, okay, so did you have to move out of home early in your life? I
mean, even in London, I lived alone. I was with my uncle, but at a certain point, I lived alone. So for a long time, I think from about the age of 20, I was living alone. So I'm kind of very, you know,
an independent person.
Yeah, exactly. So even when I came here, I still live alone. I've lived alone for a while. I mean, I lived with him for a bit when I was here, when I came back from London, and I've lived alone for a long time. So that was no news to him.
Okay, there is also the bit about, your manager who you spoke about, and what you guys have done together, as a team, and the work he's done in your career. You're not working together anymore?
No, we're not. We're not working together anymore. But I mean, we're still friends. You know what I mean? We're not working together anymore. And the reason is this: that at a certain point in everybody's life and careers, you just want to go to. You all have different directions, and mine was quite different from his. So I mean, as much as he's quite interested in what I do and knows things. Oh, what are you recording now? I think that I just wanted to do something different. You know what I mean? So I mean, it was amicable to go our separate ways, and so we did.
And people, when people go around talking about all sorts of things about the two of you.
We can't do anything about that. I mean, the two of us, in which.
Yeah, people speak about you and what happened. What led to the two of you splitting as a team.
I mean, people don't have facts, but they talk, and that's the thing about being who I am. You're a public figure, and public means what? Anyone can.
Everybody pries into
it. Exactly, and so you can't really do much about it. And I say this all the time. I mean, I was speaking to one, my spiritual father, who I go to a lot to talk to, and he says to me that you cannot go to everybody's door and knock and say, this is not what happened, this is not what happened, this is not what happened. What you need to do is portray yourself as to who you are out there and let people read the meanings to that at the end of the day. So I mean, people that are closer to me will probably have more insight on who I am and what I do. My manager and I have had a wonderful relationship. I mean, Kiki and I were like best friends practically, because I mean, you're
dated at a point,
we never dated at any point, but it's also a part of it. When you're with a guy for too long, I mean, I could be rolling with you, Nathaniel, today and tomorrow, and people will say we're dating. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just the male-female thing.
Because I mean, I'm just imagining that situation where you do a lot of work together, you're in the studio together, live within the same space, there's that closeness, and you get used to each other. You start, two people, you start noticing things about each other physically and everything.
Definitely. And I think I'm not bad looking as well. So.
Oh, you are beautiful.
I think.
Okay, so it didn't happen in your case?
Definitely, there's always an attraction, like when people are close together. But
so at the point you two got attracted to each other?
It depends on you as an individual and to what extent you want to take it to.
Okay.
Exactly.
What extent did you take it to?
We had a wonderful working relationship, and we decided to maintain it that way.
Okay.
So yes.
Okay, so it was a working relationship.
Definitely was.
Well, let's talk about, since we're talking relationships, let's talk about relationships. Like you said, everybody wants to know what's happening with you. I'm sure there are loads of guys out there who see you and wouldn't have enough confidence to come up to you because probably they feel intimidated by your person and everything. So what's your preference of the ideal man you'd want to be with, would share your life together, you'd date, or you'd
I mean, honesty for me is the first trait. It's the first trait in anybody, and it's not just about a man, everyone in general. I think that loyalty and honesty is very, very important. Okay. Aside that, I mean, when it comes to physical attributions, I want somebody that is
taller than you are?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I mean, my preference is more of the essence. It's the person's essence, more of the physical attractions. I just want somebody that I feel comfortable around, that I feel lovey-dovey around, that I feel secure around. Somebody that can be able to guide me when I'm going astray. Somebody that I could talk to as a friend and relate to. Someone that I can cry on, somebody I can cry to, and somebody
now
that I can
it looks like you're describing God.
But it's very. I mean, and I'm a funny person, so I want you to make me laugh.
It's tough to get all of that packaged in one human being, don't you think?
But it is there, and that's why for me it's more. It's not the physical.
Oh, okay, it's there. So that's to say someone is there.
There is someone definitely, but what I was saying was that it's possible to get those attributions in one person. Okay. It is. Everybody has their faults, but you could get a few of them there. Okay, one or two is fine, not all of it.
Okay, so there's a guy there in that spot now.
There is a guy, yes.
There, now.
Yeah.
Okay. You're surely not going to tell me his name if I ask you.
No, I won't.
Or you'd want to tell me his name. No. Okay. How long have you two been together?
We've been together for a while now.
And a while
long
now
enough to know each other now and be comfortable around each other.
Okay. Does you have close friends, like lady friends around you? You have a lot of close friends?
No, not a lot of close friends. I have one or two close friends, but I'm more of a mother. My mother is my best friend, really.
Okay. So your mum, does she bring up the chorus of Becca, I think you should get married. Do you ever get any of that from her?
She mentions it, definitely. Just like my father will mention it, but there's no pressure.
Oh, your father also mentions it?
Of course,
see.
Yeah.
Right.
But there's no pressure. That's the thing, and that's what I like about it. I mean, they will mention it because they feel like, oh, she's getting a little old now, you know what I mean? So I think that it would be good for you. And my mom is more concerned with the biological part of it, childbirth and things like that, But she I mean, fortunately for me...
How much do you tell your mom? I'm interested in that.
I tell my mom a lot.
A lot?
A lot.
Okay, so you've been with a guy. Okay, so the
She
first
birthed
time...
me.
Hold on. You're with a guy, you go out with a guy, you were a teenager, you dated this guy who you really liked, you did your first kiss probably, you came home, you told your mom?
Fortunately for me, I mean, I wasn't really dating as a teenager, so I didn't have to tell her
When
much.
did you enter your first relationship anyway?
Well, my first lovey-dovey relationship was about 22.
Okay, what's lovey-dovey? Anyway?
That's when you don't really know what you're doing, but you feel like you're in a relationship, and so it doesn't comprise of a lot. It's just the companionship.
Okay, so 22.
Yeah.
All right. And you remember your first kiss as well?
I remember everything
You remember
vividly.
everything? Everything, including the other one?
No. That one I've forgotten.
I know you will forget. Okay, so you told your mom about your first kiss?
Yeah, I think...
Because I'm imagining if you're very close, then you share a lot of details.
No, I
as
do
well?
share a lot of detail with my mom, you know. But
so you told her about your first kiss? Or you
I
couldn't
don't
tell
remember
her?
telling her about... I think I lied to her about that one. I think I told her a few a few years after.
That. I see. So so do you think it's subtle pressure to get married, or you think it's just okay? I mean,
it's just okay. It's just okay.
It's fine.
I mean, there's no
you don't
pressure
feel
at
any
all.
pressure on your
Not
shoulders.
at all.
What's your own take on it? Your own stance on this whole marriage, settle down thingy? What's your...
I think that it's a union, a union from God above.
Okay.
It's beautiful to get married, to have somebody you can talk to every day. For me as a person, I believe that you need to find the right person in order to do that, to tie the knots. Now, a lot of times, girls, and especially this part of the world, are pressurized into getting married because people believe that you're getting old and they need to have grandchildren for their fathers and mothers. I mean, for me, this is my take on it. I will personally not enter into a relationship that has a lot of pressure attached to it. I'm not going to be influenced or pushed into getting into a relationship. It is at my own time and my own comfort.
Sure.
Exactly. So, I mean, and that's my advice to everyone as well, because trust me, there's nothing as horrible as being with somebody that you're not attracted to, or even if you're attracted to, you're not too comfortable with, or you're not ready to settle with, and you've been pushed or pressurized to get into it. Waking up every day seeing somebody won't be easy. Sometimes even as friends, you get fed up with each other. You know what I mean? At a certain point, you get fed up. So you need to find that person. And I tell people that it's not about love all the time, because love at a certain point diminishes. It has to be a likeness. You have to like there has to be something about the person that you just like. Maybe the way the person walks or smiles, so that when that love is fading off, there's still that like. So I see you and I smile, because as much as love is fading off, there's still about something about that I like. And
so the person you're with now, does the person fit into the frame that you've drawn? Does he fit into it?
I think the person is, I think he's doing quite well. There's a few things.
What about the bit about childbirth and the whole biological clock thing, you know?
I mean, it is true, because you read, I mean, we all read and we have knowledge and understanding. You go on the internet and everything is there, and doctors will advise you that, I mean, you cannot get too old to get married. There's a possibility when it comes to, say, with God, everything is possible. But I mean, sometimes you have to also look at your situation and things like that, and know that once you're getting older, it becomes more complicated and more difficult to either bear or give birth, you know. So, well, conceive or give birth, you know.
Okay.
So.
All right. So you're holding all of that on for now?
I am holding, well, I mean, I am holding all of that on. I believe at the right time, things will fall into place for me.
Things will fall into place?
It will.
I see. She didn't want to tell me about the first kiss, but well, we'll talk some more after this round of commercials. Remember, this is Autograph. I'd like to say thank you to Royal Dennis for my outfit. This is part of the 2015 collection of Gorgeous by Royal Dennis. All right, so you stay right there. More revelations from Becca, the multiple award-winning musician, here with me on today's edition. Well, thank you very much for staying with us here on Autograph, and the adorable Becca is here with me. Becca, everybody does projections. We've spoken about relationships and the whole bit about settling down and all of that. But career-wise, where do you want to see yourself in the immediate, immediate near future, as they like to put it?
Immediate near future, immediate and near future. Well, I mean, I've always been someone that has had a vision.
Okay.
Really, really strong vision. And I believe that I'm able to cross the our market that we used to go into the international market. It's a global world now. Everyone is interrelated. Everything is related. It's a whole network now. In 5 years, in 10 years, I want to see myself as an international artist, not just, not based just in Ghana, but I want to be recognized outside as well. Really recognized, not the places that we are used to. I want to work towards a Grammy.
Great.
I want to work towards a Grammy, and so I want to work towards a Grammy.
Do you have a team in place to do that? Because that's a lot of work. And
it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
It is a lot of work, but if Hugh Masekela, Angelique Kidjo, Miriam Makeba, and a few of these people were able to, win awards, prestigious awards like that, I believe
Talk about Hugh Masekela. You met him. You did something with him.
I did.
Yeah. Tell me about meeting Hugh Masekela. I mean, he's big.
He's an amazing person to work with. He's an amazing mentor as well. And he was my mentor in the beginning, and he still is. I mean, Uncle Hugh is so funny, full of humor, and his tolerance level is like that.
I see.
But, working with him in the studio, for me, was an honor. This is someone I grew up listening to and hearing, and I never thought. He was with the Fela Kuti and
what was the first thing you said to him when you met him?
I just said, I love you. I said, I love you so much. And I was so nervous because I knew one thing about him, that he liked natural hair, and at that time I had weave-ons on. So he saw me, he's like, what is this on your head? He has
this South African accent.
He has this thing. He just cannot stand weave-ons at all. So
I see.
And he will make you very nervous. He could, but once you get to know him, it's so beautiful. So I told him I said, you know what? I appreciate your music. I love you so much, and I want to know you for the rest of my life. And up till now, I know him 8 years now exactly, and we still are in touch. So
I see.
He's great in the studio. He's skilled. He's got a lot of talent. Nobody, man. Nobody.
You also did a collaboration with one of Africa's most decorated footballers, Samuel Attoh. You shot a movie together?
Yes.
What happened to that movie?
Well, unfortunately or fortunately, maybe they say we're still going to continue, but I think at that time Attoh was going through shifting of teams and things like that, so he was he was unstable, and so they had to call it for, because everything really was based on him. Exactly. It was his life. It was the life of Attoh, where he grew. And
what role were you playing in the movie?
I was playing his girlfriend in the movie.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. Why are you smiling?
Because you're smiling back. You're smiling at me, so I smile back at you.
And there's a little question behind that smile. Okay, so any intimate roles in there, in the movie?
Yeah, a couple of them. I was his girlfriend at a very young age, so in even one of my characters, I was supposed to be dressed like a really young child, like about 14 years old. I'm grown now. 8 years ago or 7 years ago, I could have done that easily, but now I think I developed more. And I was supposed to speak French, and French is not my first language, so I was taught line by line to speak French. It was French and English, but more French.
How tough was it?
It wasn't easy, because you had international directors and all that, and they are detailed. They want details, so everything was quite detailed.
So that was your first movie experience?
Ever, yes, ever.
How did you land the role?
I don't know. I think they were looking for. There was a couple of shots that they had to do here in Ghana, Cameroon, here in Ghana, and in Spain, and so they came in. Were looking for somebody that portrayed the African woman, that portrayed African girl, and that they wanted a particular look. And so I think a couple of people went through it. A couple of our regular actresses went through it, and then they picked me because they wanted fresh face and somebody that they thought could fit in well, in the girlfriend's role.
I see, the girlfriend's role. Yeah.
No, come on, Nathaniel.
So you're going to continue that movie sometime.
We are.
But you've done something with Yvonne Nelson as well.
Yeah.
And I love the stills. I've seen still shots of it. I've seen a little preview of it. Why did you decide to do that? Is the acting another talent that you're trying to develop, or is just coming by default?
By default, really. I've never, and all the two, Attoh's and this, I've never really woken up and said to myself that I want to be an actress.
I see.
I believe that there's talent there, and I believe there's certain things I could do, but it's just more about the confidence, knowing that, I feel more comfortable doing the music than doing the acting. Now, I chose to actually do this because of the character that I was given to play. Now, it wasn't the ordinary characters that we know dressed like this. It was pure no makeup. They had to actually make you look worse than you look, you had to go through the whole prepping of the mind and body to put yourself in that character. Because I could play in a role and sit and cross my leg and take a bottle of, water or champagne and drink it. That's everything. That's what we do every day. But this time, it was a role that was about the struggle of a woman, about, what people have actually gone through to be in positions that they are now.
Wow.
And I just think the particular character, Nana, that I played was too strong a woman, powerful. And then through all odds, she was still able to.
Becca, you seem to talk a lot about women empowerment, children, and all of that, and you're doing something with the Autism Center here in Accra, in Kokomlimle in Accra.
Yeah.
What's the thing with women and going through the struggles and rising out of them, and the bit about wanting to support the Autism Center as well?
Well, the Autism Center one, the reason why I actually chose to do it is because, I was approached, and when I was approached, I actually sat back and I said, you know what? This is something that a lot of celebrities don't pay attention to. We're always doing the regular HIV, AIDS, malaria, cholera, and all that, but we never really pay attention to some of the little things that people think are disease. It's a disease. Autism really is not a disease. So I just thought, let me do this particular one. And also, I chose to do it because I have an experience with them. And it's because I did childcare and education in the UK, and I had worked with a few of them before. So I felt comfortable being around them. I understood the situation, that they were not as normal as we are. And it was just, for me, I just wanted to do it. I would do anything for children. That's the thing about me. So I don't have a particular reason for doing that going to Autism
So it's
Center. Also
more of your experiences and what you studied in school.
What I studied in school as well,
and the passion
to do it. It's just a passion to continue and do it.
I see.
We've
spoken about the bits preparing to get on the stage and performing and all of that. Which of the days have been, would you describe as your toughest and worst performance, and which one is your which one would you want to go back to any day?
Would I want to go back to?
The performances, I mean.
Okay.
Or relive any day?
All of them.
All of them. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the
performances? Cannot.
What about the bad ones?
The worst ones.
The bad days.
The bad ones, I still want to go back to them again and correct all my mistakes.
Okay. Do you remember any of them?
Oh yeah. There's certain times where you know that today was not a good day for you. When I go on stage, I put in my all. And that's the thing I do.
Like the incident at the Kumasi Stadium where you were supposed to sing the national anthem?
That was not, I didn't sing at all. So that was not, okay, when you're talking about, I'm thinking more of the voice, because singing.
Cool.
But yes, that was an incident that I will never forget for as long as I live, because I was deprived a very distinguished role because they thought that I was a woman. And they thought that, it was probably the time of the month, so I couldn't do it because they had their own beliefs of being on the field as a woman in the first place. And so for that, that's actually one of my worst. It really, really made me sad. It didn't deter me.
How were you informed about the change of plans, that you're not going to sing the national anthem anymore?
I wasn't even informed. I walked out with the Black Stars, if you saw me, because we were supposed to be following them. So I walked out with them, stood there, and then someone tapped and said, she's not singing. She cannot sing. And I was like, huh?
So you had a microphone in your hand?
I had a microphone in my hand. I was ready. I was on the field. I was so yeah. So I just had to.
So what happened?
I just had to lift my head up and just walk off. Okay.
You didn't talk to anyone?
I didn't talk to anyone.
Wow.
I didn't talk to anyone. I just walked. I went to my hotel, and then we started making calls. That's when I started talking.
I see. See, you're beautiful, and you have a very good fashion sense as well. You're there on the stages. You have a lot of exposure. Do you get hit on by men a lot?
Come on. That's not a fair question. Do you get hit on by women a lot?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. I do too.
Okay. How often is yours?
As often, more all the time. All the time. And for me, all the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Okay. How do you find some of them? Some of the pickup lines and some of the... tell me about them.
I used to get offended at first a lot for some of the pickup lines. I used to get so offended. I'm like, really? Does the person think I'm stupid? I used to say things. I'm like, do you really think, But now I've gotten used to it and I realize that everyone is different. I'm learning as I grow up. Everyone's approach is different. Everyone speaks differently. Everyone reacts to things differently. And so if someone's approach is also going to be different. And so now it's up to you as a person
to determine
whether or not you're going to do this or don't do this, how to respond. So now sometimes you say something, someone says something to me and I think it's so silly, but I just laugh at it and I'm like, oh, that's how, and I just walk off. And that's the thing. That's some of the lessons I've learned in life. And it comes from my career, so I'm used to it.
What are you working on currently when it comes to the music?
Right now I'm working on my album. I have a new album that I'm really working on, and beautiful album because it's very
You have a single out as well?
I do have a single with Hugh Masekela. It's called Lover and Friends. So yeah, it's around.
I see.
Yes.
I see. So what's the plan for the upcoming album?
Well, this particular album is so me. I'm putting my all in it because, as much as I want to please my fans, I want to please myself as well this time. I want to do songs that people can relate to more when it comes to Becca. I want to do songs that can relate to everyone as well. I'm doing songs that we can high life, R&B, pop. I might do reggae, but I want to explore.
That would be nice. That would be nice to listen to.
I want to explore. Yeah, I have a few of them.
Do you have any international artists that you want to collaborate with as we go along?
I have collaborated with one or two people already.
Okay.
So yes, and there's a few that I definitely want to.
Keeping them in the bag for now, or you want
keeping them in the bag? Keeping them in the bag, but it's good. It's good news. There's a lot of amazing things, by God's grace, happening to me this year.
You've made money in these last 8 years. Have you made good money?
I am comfortable. I have made good money, and if I'm able to reinvest properly and handle the money properly, I think I could be a very rich woman in future.
In future, like how many years now?
Not
the next.
In the next
3 years.
3 years.
3 years is very close.
Yes.
Remember, yes. I'm your friend, right?
Yes, you are.
Well, Becca, and before we wrap it up, Becca. Okay, so I know it's Rebecca Acheampong. So it must have been very easy trying to coin a stage name, Becca. Who decided on it? Did you decide on it yourself?
Yes, myself and Kiki Banton decided on it. We just get a name that,
Did it take a day? Did it take 2 hours? Did it take 2 minutes?
It took a while because we wanted a name that was really catchy and easy. And we went through different kinds of names and came up with that. But once we got that, we're like, that's the name. That's the name.
Wow. All right, so we've just got 1 hour, so we will do the rest off the camera. Becca, thank you so much for making the time.
Thank you for having me here.
Well, Rebecca Acheampong is the name in her passport with a few probably other middle names, but Becca is the one you all know and love. Becca Uncut here on Autograph. I trust you've been entertained tonight. We'll do some more next weekend, and we'd like to say thank you to the management of Alisa Hotel Northridge for hosting us in here in the Table Bay Bar. I'd like to also say thank you to Royal Dennis, and once again I'm wearing the 2015 collection of Gorgeous by Royal Dennis. Thank you very much, Royal Dennis, for my outfit. So thanks to you out there for watching. There's more excitement next weekend, and like we always do, we just keep a hush-hush on who's appearing next. You never know. Today is the very beautiful Becca, looking all sweet and all. Next week, it will be someone else, trust me. Take it from me. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
May